Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Niken Suryani. This time I will explain about phonetics. Definition of phonetics. Phonetics is the general study of the characteristic of speech sound. Phonetic is divided into three. Number one, articulatory phonetics. Articulatory phonetics is the study of how speech sounds are made or articulate. Number two, acoustic phonetics, which deal with the physical property of speech as sound falls in the air. Number three, auditory phonetics or perceptual phonetics deal with the perception via the air of speech sound. In articulatory phonetics, the speech sound produced begin with air being pushed out the lungs up through the trachea or windpipe into the larynx. Inside the larynx are vocal folds or vocal cords which take two basic positions. Number one, voiceless. When the vocal folds are spread apart, the air from the lungs passes between them unimpeded or no free basin effect. Number two, voice. When the vocal folds are drawn together, the air from the lungs repeatedly pushes them apart as it passes through, creating a free basin effect. For example, about voiceless. For example, about voice. Place of articulation. Number one, bilabials. These are sounds formed using both upper and lower lips. They are represented by the symbol p, which is voiceless, b, m, and w, which are voice. For example, pat, bat, mat, why, walk, and word. Number two, labioriental. These are sounds formed with the upper teeth and the lower teeth. They are whispered by the symbol v, which is voiceless, and v, which voice. For the example sound of the word fat and fat, and the final sound in the word safe and safe. Notice that the final sound in the word chaff and the initial sound in photo, despite the spelling difference, are both pronounced as f. Number three, dentals. The sounds are formed with the tongue tip behind the upper fourth teeth. The symbol used for this sound is th, which is voiceless, usually referred to as theta. The voice dental is represented by the symbol th, usually called eth. Number four, alveolars. These are sounds formed with the front part of the tongue on the alveolar right, which is the rough, bony right immediately beneath and above the upper teeth. The symbols for this sound are easy to remember: th, d, s, z, n, l, r. Of the t and s are voiceless, whereas d, z, n, l, and r are voice. For example, top, tip, sit, zoo, not, lap, lead, right, and right. Number five, palatals. Sound produced with the tongue and the palate. The sh sound is the whispered as sh, which is voiceless, and the ch is represented as ch, which is voiceless. One of the voice palatals represented by the symbol sh ch, and y. For the example, short, crush, pleasure, choke, judge, jar, you, and yet. Number 6. Velars. Sound produced with the back of the tongue against the volume. There is a voiceless velar sound represented by the symbol k. The voice velar sound represented by the symbol g. The volume can be lowered to allow air to flow through the nasal cavity and thereby produce another voice velar represented by symbol ng, typically referred to as acma. For the example, kill, cook, go, bake, mock, sing, song. Number 7. Glottals. Sound that is produced without the active use of the tongue and other part of the mouth. The sound produced is that represented by h, which is voiceless. For example, have and house. The next manner of articulation. Number 1. Stop. Sound resulting from a blocking or stopping effect on the airstream. Sound classified as stop are p, b, t, d, k, g, are produced by some form of stopping airflow or very briefly, then releasing it suddenly. Number 2. Fricative. As the air is pushed out, a type of friction is produced and the resulting sound. The manner of articulation used in producing the set of sound f, f, t, d, s, z, sh, and sh involves almost blocking the air stream and having the air pushed through the very narrow opening. The sound f, s, and sh, which is voiceless fricative, the sound t and z, which is voice fricative. Number 3. Affricative. If combine a brief stopping of the air stream with an obstructed release which causes some friction, will be able to produce the sound ch and j. There is a voiceless fricative is ch, and in the second a voice fricative j. Number 4. Nasals. Most sounds are produced orally with the volume raised, preventing airflow from entering the nasal cavity. However, when the volume is lowered and the air stem is allowed to flow out through the nose to produce m, n, and ng, the three sounds are all voice. Number 5. Liquid. The initial sound from l and r. They are both voice. The l sound is called a lateral liquid and is formed by letting the airstream flow around the sides of the tongue as the tip of the tongue makes contact with the middle of the alveoli. The r sound, the tongue tip rises and curls back near the alveoli. Number 6. Gliders. The sound w and y are both voice and a call. That's all for me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.